So, as we all most know, ocean pollution is a big problem, and it's a big thing that's happened to our environment right now. And right now, 5 trillion pieces of plastic are littering the ocean and essentially harming all life that surrounds. And all this plastic is winding up in these 5 giant gyres, or essentially big islands of trash. But yet the most harmful and biggest one is the Great Pacific Garbage Patch. And so, yes, there are many things that we could do as individuals to help this, but the gyres are getting way too large to be cleaned up by day-to-day tasks. So there must be something bigger. So some of you guys might recognize this guy, but his name is Boyan Slat, and he is a 23-year-old Dutch inventor. And he dropped out of his aerospace engineering studies when he was 19 to start the Ocean Cleanup Foundation. And now he is leading a massive team of researchers and scientists. And for the past 4 years, they have been testing projects with array-type systems in the ocean and funding other ocean cleanup projects. And so for his goal is quite simple. It just requires these array-type structures that are going to be placed in deep oceans, which it's a U-shaped structure which drifts with the current that essentially collects all trash in the middle to be transported for recycling. But according to the scientists at Ocean Cleanup Foundation, it's a lot more advanced than that. And there are big 4 parts to the array. So number 1 is a floater device. It's made out of polyethylene, which is a very strong, durable, and recyclable material. And this material is perfect for this array because it's very buoyant and it helps maintain shape of the U. 2 is a screen. Instead of using a net, which some things were used in the past, is using impermeable, solid sort of blockade, which actually doesn't go too far under the ocean, as most of the trash is found towards the surface and the marine life needs to be able to pass through. And these arrays are going to be placed in deep ocean, so there must be very large anchors, averaging about 600 meters down. And the point of these anchors is not to stop the array, but it's to keep it moving slower than the actual current, so that trash naturally succumbs to the middle. And the last part is the catching part, which is pretty simple itself. And it's just, once the trash becomes buffered enough to a certain point, support vessels are making trips to collect all the trash and to bring back to be recycled. But so far, with all this, according to Stu Roberts' article, New Atlas, this has been the largest ocean research expedition in history. And even though the main system hasn't been deployed yet, tests have been happening for the past couple of years and are proved to be highly substantial, as large pieces of plastic have been collected, ghost nets, and even debris from tsunamis. And this is promising because, according to Boyan Slat himself, the clear majority of plastic winds up in these big bundles, which the final array is built for. And, quote by Boyan Slat, it is a ticking time bomb because UV light destroys these large bundles and breaks them down to microplastics, which is very bad for all marine life. And within the next couple of decades, if there isn't a big way to remove the trash from the ocean, it will essentially be uncleanable. But with that, there is also a lot of controversy and counter-arguments to Boyan Slat's plan. So although it sounds very great and ideal, according to Kevin Loria's article in Business Insider, he seems to support the idea, but has pointed out that marine scientists and oceanographers have studied storms and extreme currents which may have potential to break the array. And if the array breaks, that'll also be very harmful because it is insanely large and it'll just essentially add to the gyres if it breaks down. And other oceanographers, such as Kim Martini, have suggested to place the array offshore instead of deep oceans, as most plastic is collected, or as most plastic enters the ocean through shore. But past all the controversy, the plan is still intact to take place. The models for the ocean cleanup are hypothesized to clean up about 50% of the Great Pacific Garbage Patch in about 5 years, and with hopes to pave the road for a plastic-free ocean by 2050, which is pretty crazy. And it's becoming more and more relevant now as testing is finally coming to an end, and the final array infrastructures are supposed to be placed in the ocean later this year, mid-2018. So this is very exciting as we may experience the biggest ocean cleanup in history.